Yeah, hi Gaurav.
Hi, Chidam.
First of all, thanks a lot to arrange everything on such a short notice. So, a very warm welcome to the Code Pathshalas, this new initiative which we call Techie Sunday. So, how your Sunday is going?
Thank, thank you. I mean, the pleasure is equal. This is my first such session, so I was really excited about it, and I think I got enough time,
Yeah,
probably.
same here.
And about
So,
Sunday, yes, it's Sunday is good till now. Yeah,
yes. So, let me share our common slide here so we can start our
sure,
discussion.
sure.
So, here it is. So this is our first episode of Techie Sunday, season one. So Techie Sunday with Gaurav Dubey. So here it is. So what this Techie Sunday is all about? I first want to share this with our viewers, our family. So Techie Sunday is an initiative where we are initiating a dialogue with industry professionals and industry leaders. So here are three main points. Whenever we talk about technology leaders or technology professionals, we always talk about some kind of advice, some kind of path, some kind of key picture. So let's say these are four key points, and you can do this, you can follow this, and boom. So Techie Sunday is not like that. It's not a pile of advice. It's
Mhm.
about experience. So as you are our first guest, so I know you since your global logic days, and I
Yes,
quite
yes.
saw this journey. So I found you the perfect one for this show, where
Oh,
I want you to share your experience, your journey with our users, our viewers. So, Techie Sunday is about the life experience and the behavior that actually works for the common man like us, like you, and like me, like our viewers. Another thing is just a small investment from our viewers' side, and in this 15-20 minutes, they are really going to get something that can make them way ahead in their lives. So this is what Techie Sunday is about. Learn from the people like you and me. So Gaurav Dubey is the one who is from among us, who is very much like us. So this is what Techie Sunday is all about.
superb,
Uh,
superb.
I also want to say briefly about the Code Pathshala. So we started it in 2017, almost 3 years back. So we started this a small group of college engineers, college final year and pre-final year graduates. So we started this in a small group, and this group is getting larger by months, by years. Then we took a break of 1 year in 2019 and started it again on 2020. So this is where right now we are. So this is a community where people works together on small projects, learn together, and prepare together for their company preparation, for their jobs and all. So this is what Code Pathshala is all about. We covers technology related to AI, ML, blockchain, full stack development, and also some kind of robotics, IoT, and all. So this is
Yes, yes.
what
I
Code
remember that
Pathshala is.
robot playing football
Yeah.
few
That
years ago.
that's now robot. So we developed that robot for government of Rajasthan. Yeah.
Okay, okay.
So this is our first guest, Gaurav, who is working with Adobe right now and also recently graduated from IIM Lucknow. And rest Gaurav will tell about himself. So I want to hand over the mic to Gaurav now. So Gaurav, let's
Thank you,
start
thank you.
how your uh, journey till now happened.
So currently, I'm working as a senior software engineer at Adobe, I have around 6 years of experience in Android application development, testing, and automation. Right, you told us about my MBA. I completed it this year only in March. Journey, like all other journeys, was not a very straightforward one. It had certain ups and downs, but what I think the most challenging part of any journey or my journey was the self-belief. Coming from a normal tier 3 city, tier 2 city, tier 3 colleges, that self-belief is mostly missing. There are quite few people who believe in you, but the number of people who don't are a lot. Even in job openings, we come across hiring for tier 1 colleges only, or maybe those things also demotivate you. But thankfully, God gave me enough power to believe in myself. And I think my journey has just started now. And I wish to wear a hat of product management in near future.
Yeah.
And probably then decide what's next.
So Gaurav, tell us something about your schooling and your engineering. So what that tier 3 college actually was?
With no disrespect, today whatever I am, it's because of my college,
Yeah.
all those learnings. But it's basically the categorization which you fall just after you finish your maybe intermediate, and what you are already behind in a race of being in the top premium institute. So that never ends at any point. You feel like it's never going to end. You complete your BTech, the job industry, any industry, there again you face the similar challenges. So my schooling has been from Boys High School, Allahabad. I completed my 10th and 12th from there. And then my BTech in computer science is from BBD, Lucknow.
Yeah, thank you, Gaurav. So I'm also from the UPTU, as you already know. I am from KIET, Ghaziabad itself.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I also faced that UPTU don't get that much respect when we compare it to other NITs and IITs. So that is a challenge. But now you have break the league and you entered in that I category now. So life from here is going to roller coaster.
Thank you.
So let's start a formal discussion from here about your role and about your advice for the newcomers in the industry. So my first question is, which profile is actually better for a fresh graduate, for a fresh engineer? Is it development or testing?
First of all, I mean, let me clarify a couple of things. Firstly, as long as your job involves coding, I think it hardly makes any difference whether you are in a SDE role or SDET role. For starting our career, I may advise that we should refrain from those black box testing jobs, as they are fading away as well. Having said that, the good part nowadays is that both development and testing are no more a different part of SDLC. With most of the organizations now following agile methodology, both development and testing go hand in hand. Yes, the traditional manual testing role is fading away, but nowadays organizations are equally focusing on their automation part as well. So as a SDGT, you can expect to write some unit tests of even your own code, your own automation code which you write. So depending upon the job requirement and the product of your organization, and if you have obviously a willingness to learn, you can easily switch between both the roles, SDET and SDET.
So, Gaurav, one more of my question, which is my favorite one. Do you also prefer some kind of competitive programming platforms like Hacker Rank, Hacker Earth, and all? So, do you prefer
Yes,
that?
yes, yes, yes. That helps a lot. Lead
Yeah,
code these days is among the top used one, I may say, because for anyone who is preparing for any roles that requires programming, maybe understanding part, YouTube, I mean, is very helpful for design classes, structural design, all those videos you find there. But to actually practice, you need a platform, and I think Lead Code is there. Then there are a couple of more website as well. Yes.
yeah. You mentioned lead code, right?
Yes. Yes.
So,
So it's
any,
like a platform where
yeah,
you write program. You, it's like a game. You get different challenges, beginner, medium, and the more you go, the challenge becomes tough. But at the same time, the number of rounds you clear, your confidence also goes up.
yeah, great. So, it's better than Hacker Rank or Hacker Earth, right?
Yes, HackerRank is also a good one, but I think I personally prefer LeetCode.
Yeah, I heard about lead code from one of my colleague as well, who is quite good in
Yes.
coding. So this is the second recommendation which I got for the lead
Yeah.
code. So now lead
Yes.
code is one and Hacker Earth and Hacker Rank zero in my
Zero. Right.
ranking. Yeah,
Yes.
thank you, Gaurav.
Yes.
So we move to the next part. So tell us something about what SDET role actually is, because it's a kind of a jargon in these days, and many people actually don't know what this SDET is. Like in previous time, engineer one, engineer two, engineer three kind of stuff, or scientist one, scientist two,
Yes.
scientist three in government jobs. So it's
Yes.
again
Yes.
one more
Yes.
jargon.
Yes. So, like a software developer role, which we all are familiar with, this also varies from organizations and varies across projects. Uh, a software engineer in test in an organization can be seen probably automating an Android app or an iOS app. In someone whose product is about cloud deployment, maybe there he may be wearing a hat similar to a site reliability engineer. Then where it is about multiple build, maybe some continuous integration part, he's somewhere there. So he's quality analyst there. So and in many organizations they are moving to now unified engineering role. So it is a sort of thing that I write my own code and then I automate it.
Yeah, you.
I also had a short stint with one of my medical domain client where I wore the hat of super developer. So in one sprint, I was developing the code, and in the next sprint, I was writing the test cases for it.
You called about a new term, relatively new term, that is unified developer. What that thing is?
To keep it very simple, it is about the some writing the code with the intention that I'm also responsible for maintaining it as well. I'm also responsible for writing the unit test part. I'm also responsible for automating it, or maybe as a team we all are responsible for writing the code as well as verifying it.
So that means developer is going beyond unit testing, right?
Yes, yes, definitely.
Oh, great. Thanks, Gaurav. Let's move to the next part. That is what the key skills required to get entry to a tier A company, tier one company in the role of SDET or similar.
it it is a sort of mix of development as well as testing skills. And it relatively requires more skill than a tester who is just involved in preparing and executing the test cases, either manually or automation. I mean, you need to have a better programming skills as well. It also requires you, like development, to have a command over at least one programming language, be it Java, C++, Python, Kotlin. Besides, like you need to be familiar with basic database access commands. You need to be familiar with the development models, architecture models like MVVP, MVVM. It, having design, having the knowledge of design patterns is a like a cherry on the top. It is a good to have the skills as well, because ultimately you will be writing somewhere. Even in automation, you will be writing some piece of code which will be running. So it is always good to have those skills. But for any SDET profile, from perspective of interview, as mentioned in the slide, these are the four round. I will basically structure it more of a round wise. So you may have 4 or 5 or 6 rounds, but the crux lies in these 4 primary skills. First is this test plan mindset and creation. For any organizations you are applying, you can easily Google, you will find a lot of stuff there. What my focus here is, as a candidate for interview, your focus is ownership in this round. Test plan mindset creation is ownership. For example, if your job description says maintaining a mobile app, then expect some questions from maybe asking you to write a test plan, a detailed test plan of your favorite app, say WhatsApp, and maybe write a plan for one-on-one chat. The key thing to remember here is think yourself as a feature owner, as if that Android app, you have invested your money on it, and when it goes to market, you have to pay back your debt from the earnings it brings to you. Or maybe if you are running a food joint, you have to ensure that your burger, someone else is preparing you a burger, but you have to ensure that all necessary quality checks are there in place. So probably you may not be available there to check each and every burger, but you will lay down a set of rules that will ensure that someone else who is preparing those burgers will ensure that those quality checks are checked. So this was about the round 1. Then coding obviously is there, and you already asked about code late, and to add it to it is Geeks for Geek. It is very helpful site. You can go through it, and then you get certain questions on Glassdoor as well. What I would like to focus here is what current state you are. The level of preparation for this round will increase. Suppose you are working as a developer in any project, probably you will not face any issue in this round. You will get familiar set of question of programming, you will get familiar database question. If you are leading your automation part, or you are doing certain automation part in your organization, probably you can go for late code and do a month of practice over there, so that at least you are prepared till middle level thing. Because in automation we write certain scripts, but we don't go in that much depth of programming concept. So that is my advice for those second category. And then there is a third category, those who are currently in manual testing profile. They should, start preparing for this role. So they can cover videos available on YouTube. Probably I will share a list of maybe references with you, which you can share with our viewers.
Yeah,
so
that's
first
very helpful. Please.
Yes, so I will summarize these things, our conversation, and those references, and I will share with you. So for those a manual testing profile, once they get hold of these concepts, then probably they can move to this part. So there is 2-step process for them in this coding round. So this coding round and testing, you can expect at least 2 rounds. It could be 3 that you will face these questions related with testing and coding in each of those rounds. Then you can also expect, if you can switch to the next slide, you can also expect quizzes and puzzles apart from test plan and code thing.
Yeah, Gaurav, I
So
want to interrupt you in between.
yes,
A
yes.
lot of tester friend of mine are afraid of data structure and algorithm. So how
Hmm.
much part data structure and algorithm actually plays in this interview? And what kind of preparation they need to do before coming to interview?
I think the guy on my other side is more better candidate to answer this question. How much importance does data structure and algorithm have in our programming part? Whenever we judge any other candidate, what we like, what we search in those programming questions, the choice of data structure he or she has taken, right? So, or maybe complexity, right? In any program, we check about how much computation it is taking, what is the order of time complexity, displays complexity. So it becomes very important. Probably you will not be asked to exactly rewrite that data structure, but at least you should be aware about the available collections and what difference is between one choice of data structure and the other, top sorting techniques, and yes, complexity, both time and space.
So the gist is common sense is not so common. So very common data structure study which we do in our engineering can also work, right?
Yes, yes, it can work.
Yeah.
Only thing is, not like writing in those engineering exams. You need to know how it is
Got
working.
that part, got that part. And our viewers can very well connect that part as well. What is that engineering
Yes,
exam and what is real life?
yes, and sharing my own I started writing Android apps. I delivered 5 and 6, 4 or 5 apps, and then I went back and I studied the design principles, open close principles, and those things. Actually, when you start writing, you realize how bad your code is. When you get bugs, when you go that, so it's never late. One can anytime go back and probably visit it.
You also mentioned this part,
Yes,
right?
yes. Your voice broke in between, but I assume you were asking about the next round.
Yeah, actually, I am asking about the next rounds after coding and the
Yes,
initial stuff
yes,
of design
yes.
planning or of testing planning.
Quiz and puzzles, obviously you will not have a separate round, but you can expect after maybe probably all the rounds, you may expect 1 or 2 puzzles. Basically, earlier I also don't used to get logic of what is the logic of putting a puzzle probably in an interview. I was also not much convinced with it, but it just shows your ability, how you react when you get a different problem, when you get a real world problem. I'm writing a code, someone comes and give me an scenario. So these quizzes and puzzles actually test our reaction to the situation. So maybe interviewer is also not searching for the right answer. He's also looking for your ability to approach a particular problem in different ways. So with practice, obviously you can improve it, but even if you are unable to solve it, it is your approach to the problem is important. So even if you go Google it, you will find all those top quizzes and puzzles, but try to understand it rather than just learning it.
So I want a cheat code from your side. Any special puzzle that's your favorite during the interviews, which you ask everyone?
I think it is it is like an open secret. I mean, water jet problem, heavy ball problem. Now the challenge while interview is about searching a new puzzle which you can ask to the candidate, because the moment you speak a puzzle and candidate is there, it start writing, you obviously you are in, you sense that this problem is not new for him. So nowadays I see a lot of people giving YouTube quizzes where a video is played, a long video is played, and you have to note down a certain points at various instances, and then towards the fake end you get the answer what is the correct answer. So that is my favorite one. There is one ship problem. There are a lot many videos.
So it's a game of body language as well.
Yes, very important. I mean, you have taught so many BTech students. You who can better tell about the body language part, right? It shows your confidence. It shows everything.
Yeah, definitely. Discussed a lot about. So any special advice from your side? So to one of my imaginary friend who has around 10 years of experience in manual testing. So
Mm-hmm.
the guy is the one who is playing with that black box. So
Mm-hmm.
what is your advice to him if he want to plan his career, to advance his career in next 3 months of this
Mm-hmm.
lockdown? So what do you advise him? And we will close our interview on with that note.
So my advice is it will be great for them to start preparing for white box testing roles at least. 10 years of manual testing tells you immense experience. So probably they will just blow away these testing rounds. So they can start preparing for those roles. Future is automation. This you will also agree. So it is better to be prepared both mentally and technically for it. Nowadays, a lot of video tutorials are available on internet. So you can go through them before moving to the practice part. And what I you can start trying to develop some tools to automate your day-to-day activities. That is the best thing. 10 things you are doing manually, probably try to automate one or two things. It will, firstly, it will boost your confidence. And secondly, it will add some values to your CV as well. Look, I have been doing manual testing for past 7-8 years. And then from past 3-4 years, I have automated this much. I think that is what I can think from my experience is the best thing to move from manual to automation.
Yeah, it's quite helpful. So one last question. If I want you to pick one scripting language, Python or JavaScript, so which one?
Honestly, uh, I don't like scripting language.
Ah,
but having said that, life is, I mean, you cannot just avoid it, right? You have to
yeah,
use it. So Python, I prefer Python, probably because it is as old as we are. So I have used it in the college days as well. But whenever I need some, probably a small script to fetch some folders and to get some data, extract something, I prefer Python.
yeah. Thank you, Gaurav.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's quite helpful, Gaurav. So here is a small vote of thanks to you, our first guest of this series. And this vote of thanks is not just from my side, it's from our complete family, which we have built over last 3 years. So this thank you vote is from whole Code Pathshala family. So thanks a lot,
Likewise.
Gaurav.
Likewise.
And we would like to invite you again very soon with some new set of questions. So bye bye.
I will be more than happy to contribute in any way. Thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thanks again. So bye. Stay safe,
Bye
stay healthy. Bye bye.
bye. Thank you.